Okay, hello everybody.
I would say let's wait a few seconds.
I would say let's wait.
Until people maybe.
Okay, we have one person.
Come in.
I can see. Have a couple. Have more. So many.
No.
It's an avalanche of people. All right.
So, should I start?
I think you do a very good job starting. Do it.
So, hi Tegeler, hello, hi DeFeo, and hi, I can't see the name, it's a bit...
It's too far.
Yeah, sorry.
But hi everyone.
Hi. Yeah, hello everybody. And yeah, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Tegeler Talks. I hope the sun is shining where you are today. We have almost 40 degrees here in Berlin, so it's quite hot. I hope it's a bit better where you are.
Or if it's that hot, I hope you have like a big swimming pool by the lake, by the ocean. That would be amazing.
Yeah, today we have the pleasure of talking to Chris Selim. If you don't know Chris, maybe you have heard of his music production resource website and YouTube channel. It's called Mixdown Online. Chris is a musician, music producer, recording and mixing engineer, and also, yeah, of course, he's the creator of Mixdown Online.
That's right. Chris is a super guy. You guys are gonna love him if you don't know him yet. His channel is actually really informative. Lots of amazing content there. Before I even knew Chris, I already knew his channel. I would check it every now and then. While Giovanni is setting up the invitation to Chris and everything, we would like to give you a little update. You probably have heard already, either through our social media or on our website. Actually 2 days ago we started celebrating the 10-year anniversary of our Crème, which is basically our flagship unit. Everybody knows about the Crème, and if you are inside the European Union, for a limited time you can get the Crème for a special price of 14.99 euros. That's down 300 euros from the original price, including of course 19% VAT. You can find all the information about our sale in on our website. We have also made Instagram and Facebook posts about it, and I would not waste my time, and I would check it out if I were you guys. What about people in the US and in the UK?
Yes, if you are in the US, we recommend to head over to our partner Vintage King. There is a separate sale happening there. Vintage King gives you 20% off the Crème. And the same goes basically for the UK, for the United Kingdom, for the UK, and our exclusive partner KMR Audio. They are also giving 20% on the Crème for a limited time.
Yes. So to sum up, in the European Union, you now can get the Crème for a special price of 1,500 euros, including VAT. If you are in the US, run to Vintage King Audio. You can get the Crème for 20% off. If you're in the UK, go to KMR Audio. There you can also get the Crème for 20% off. If you already own a Crème, and then you're like, what the heck, I wanted to be a part of this, you know, we also thought about you. So basically, if you already own the Crème, you can be part of our global overload Crème montage. Simply post a video, like on your social media, showing the Crème in action, and then please use a hashtag 10 years of Crème. And if possible, send it to us as well. Send this video to us, preferably through a cloud service like Dropbox or WeTransfer or Google Drive, anything like that. Then, once you have posted it and sent us the video, you will get 200 euros off of your next purchase of a 19-inch rack device, so a device like those big guys. Or you can also get 100 euros off of our vocal leveler and our soon-to-be released Mifi Q, our 500 series devices. Is that it? There is more. Of course there is more, guys. Whoever buys a Crème right now, in order to help celebrate it, we are also gonna give you a gift. You're gonna take one of these amazing t-shirts, and you're gonna also have enough cables to set up your Crème, and then as soon as you receive it, you can start using it already. I would not miss it if I didn't have a Crème. Yeah. Do we have Chris?
Yeah, I should.
All right.
Enough about us. Let's talk with Chris.
We are cool, but Chris is much cooler. So let's go towards him.
Yeah.
Nice. Opa.
Yes.
Do we have Chris?
Do we have Chris? Chris is
Yes,
joining us. Yes,
we have Chris Selim.
There you go.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
How's it going, guys? Good to see you.
Yeah, can't complain, except for the heat.
Yeah, sorry about that. Here in Quebec, it's like 27 or 28 degrees.
Oh, we are way
right now,
past that.
Pretty good.
Nice.
So I hope you guys have air conditioning.
Yeah.
We do.
Luckily.
Okay.
We do actually. All right.
Yeah. Do you want? I don't know. Do you want to introduce yourself? Did I miss anything in my introduction about you, for example?
No, not really. I think you covered it pretty much. But I can just go over it briefly. But yeah, my name is Chris Selim. I'm owner of Mixdown Online, a platform on YouTube, educational platform for home studio musicians and home studio owners. So sharing my experience and teaching about music production, mixing, mastering, all related to the home studio. And of course teaching also about Cubase, which is my main DAW. Yeah, so I've made a bunch of videos regarding Cubase and regarding all sorts of mixing techniques and recording techniques also. So check it out. It's on YouTube, and I also have some premium courses on mixing, on Cubase also. So if you're interested, you can also check those out.
Nice. Chris, first of all, thanks a lot for taking part in our interview series. We were really looking forward to having you. This is again a really hot day, so I hope you forgive us for being so melty today. But anyway.
That's okay.
Yeah. Do you want to start with the questions?
I can.
Let's do it.
Let's dive right in. Can you tell us a little something about your audio setup in general, and yeah, of course, also in which part of your processes you're using our devices and which devices you're using?
Okay, cool. I'm in a home studio. It's in the basement of my house. I've been here since 2006 at this location. So I have like 2 recording rooms, like a small booth, a more bigger room, which is a small to mid-sized room for drum recordings. And this is where I make all of my main recordings anyways. I don't use the booth much anymore. But so this is where I used to do a lot of production and recording with clients. Now I'm mainly doing stuff online, so all of my recent gear and purchased were more aimed to mixing and like in the box production type. I work with several different types of studio monitors. I had the chance to review a lot of them, so that gave me the chance to try them out and to use them afterwards. As far as the gear goes, I'm an in-the-box type of guy, so I grew up in the box. I never recorded on a Neve or SSL console in huge studios. I started my studio here in the basement of my house using plugins. The only thing that I went on the analog side was right away I purchased like a bunch of preamps, Vintech 473s, Drummer 1960. Which is also a stereo compressor, but I only use those for recording. And then, I've been mixing, like I said, since 2003 on a full-time basis, and mainly in the box. And I started to, at some point, I just wanted to try to get outside the box, to start up and experiment with outside the box mixing on a few things, and I thought that a stereo bus compressor would be a very good start. And this is where the Crème came in. So this is one of the Tegeler unit I work with, the Tegeler Crème. The original one, not the RC, but the original one. So yeah, I get to use the vintage Crème. But yeah, this is part of my mixing workflow, and I recently got the VTRC also. And I was looking forward to get my hands on a good channel strip for recording that I can also use for mixing, and I think that was the perfect fit, the VTR. So I just got it like a month or and a half ago, so I started to record with it recently. I actually use it also on my YouTube videos now. It's part of my recording chain. for my microphone. So just a bit of compression, a bit of passive EQ, just to tone shape the sound right away to make it sound good when I record, so I have way less work to do afterwards in post.
Nice. Chris, this is sort of a continuation of your question, like but yeah, I think these two devices that you have, they're very good demonstrator of Tegeler. I think they're kind of some of our flagship devices. The Crème and the VTRC are so versatile, right? Because you can use it in a bus. Both of them have EQ and compressor functions. Yeah. The VTRC even has the preamp on itself. So basically, and I can see how that would be particularly attractive for a person that was like doing everything in the box and then having an analog device like that, which is that versatile. So so that leads to the question that I have. Building an analog setup many times is all about creating a signature sound. People go to the analog because of that signature sound that you want to find, the Chris Selim signature sound that people are going to look for. Before you got your Tegeler devices, which changes in tone or workflow were you looking for that got you to find the Tegeler devices?
I think at first I was looking for a good high quality mix bus compressor to glue all of my mixes together, in a very smooth way. And so that's why I was aiming at the Crème to begin with, especially as a first analog unit to work with when mixing in the box. So that was kind of the no-brainer way to start, working with an analog units in Cubase. So I was looking for something that would glue my mixes well, and again, with transparency and also with smoothness. And this is what I found with the Crème. It's a very nice VCA compressor. And also that addition of the combination with the Pultic type EQ was just, that added up to the decision to add this one to my my workflow. I think that adds a lot, especially on the mix bus. Even if I don't use it like super aggressively, it's very subtle, but it adds a lot to the tone.
I see.
I can also add up to that question, or
it's all one big question.
Because the next question I would have would be about out of the box uses of the Crème, because as you said, the Crème is its home is the mix bus, is the 2-bus, and there it's where it's where it shines to glue everything together.
For sure.
But in my conversations with clients and customers, I have heard from a lot of them that they're using it not just for that, but also for other applications. For example, one was vocal processing, or instruments like guitar processing. Do you have also some kind of out-of-the-box application for the Crème, or are you using it as it is intended?
I think it does a very great job on a drum bus, I have to say. So that's one of a way I would use the Crème. I mainly use it on the mix bus, but I always have a kind of another in-the-box chain for the mix bus, so in case I want to use the Crème on a drum bus, I can do so. And also on cymbals, like a stereo cymbal bus, overhead, that also works very good. And even for recording with the Crème, recording overheads can actually work very well with the Crème also. So those are the type of channels and instruments outside apart from the mix bus that the Crème would work very well, and of course on vocals too. I didn't experiment a lot with the vocal using the Crème, but I did record it once using the compressor of the Crème for vocals.
Nice. I'm going to give you a break from all the Crème questions because we're just very excited with the Crème celebration. We cannot stop talking about the Crème. So I'm going to give you now the question that I hate giving to everyone because I would not know how to answer that. It's a tricky one.
Okay.
But here we go.
Sure.
Can you describe the most important aspects of your work in 3 short sentences?
Okay. I would say sharing my knowledge and experience to help people out with their production, recording, and mixing in their home studio. So that would be one part of my of an important aspect of my work. Secondly, is to keep learning and experimenting to get better at what I do with music production and mixing. And also, you know, I do a lot of work for clients, like mixing clients. And same for students, you know, I have a membership also going on, so where I have students to serve, and with my online courses also, and I want to make sure that my clients are happy with what they get. And if they're a mixing client, they are satisfied with the mix that I provide them. And if they're a student, that I'm actually making a difference with what I share and what I teach, so they can improve. So this is, I would say, the 3 most important aspects of my work.
Nice, nice. And I just wanted to say, I think it's really cool. I just wanted to add something because before I even worked for Tegeler, I was already checking your videos, and there was a couple of times that they really, like, I had a doubt, and then they really helped me out, and I think it's a really good thing. Especially, especially
awesome.
I have a lot of friends that they've had no sort of formal training about audio, and they learn a lot through content creators exactly like yourself. And there's of course a couple of YouTube channels that do that service, but I think that's why I was so excited about talking to you today as well.
Oh, thank you. And I'm excited to be here with you. So
nice.
It's a win-win.
Are you ready for another Crème question though?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
All right.
Do you have anything specific, any tips or something, any suggestion for someone who might think of getting a Crème or something? Anything that you think, oh, this was the tipping point, this, I don't know.
Crème first timers.
Yeah.
Advice for Crème first timers.
Advice. You know, I can say as a starting point, if you're using the Crème on a stereo bus, I would start. I can actually share some settings that I use on the Crème when having the Crème mix bus. I would start off with a slow attack, put it to the slowest, fast release, bring that threshold so you get maybe like a couple of dBs of gain reduction or so, go by ear, you know, and go to a 2-to-1 ratio. That could be a good start, you know. I kind of like to set my mix bus compressor this way, and sometimes I even go as high as 4-to-1 ratio also. That works pretty well, depending on the genre I'm mixing. But that is typically a very good way to start. And then you can experiment with the EQ side, a bit of boost at 80, or, you know, the other one is 60 or 100 hertz. Tiny boost on the top end also, just to give that very nice, smooth shine that we have on that EQ, which sounds very good. So, you know, I would say experiment, but that could be a very good starting point.
That's very nice. I think we're trying to implement also something like starting points on our website as a guide, so we might get
like guest presets.
Yeah, like guest presets
Sure.
for these. So
take it on.
Yeah. Also into because what you told us right now speaks, at least to me, or says to me that you have experience with working with these, with the Crème and with other outboard gear, because I think, someone who is starting with it is not going to tell you, just start with this attack, this release, and then go from there. If you're new with the unit, most of the time it's like, okay, how do I set it? So for me, it speaks like it says that your production technique and your mixing technique really evolved since you started. And can you explain a little your differences, the differences, how you approach, let's say a mixing session than, let's say, in comparison to 10, 15 years ago.
How did you evolve?
How did your production technique or your mixing technique evolve since you started, basically?
Boy, yeah, that's a good question, because it did evolve for sure. You know, I'm not the same as I was when I started. I went to production school after I started my business with the home studio and started to work with clients and getting some recording gigs, production and mixing gigs. And at first, you do the best you can with what you have as far as your knowledge goes and your experience goes. It's like anything else. The more you do it, the more you produce songs, the more you mix songs, the better you get at it. You know, and the more you fail also, and that's part of the process. And the good thing about failing is that you can learn from your mistakes, and this is also part of getting better and achieving more success in what you do over time. So this is basically how I was able to improve and to get better at this, is by failing a lot of times, you know. And also, you know, when I started my YouTube channel, you start teaching stuff, and you've been mixing for years, doing a lot of stuff and a lot of mixing moves in a very kind of a, without even thinking about it, everything's a bit more intuitive. And when it's time to explain what you do on a YouTube video, now it's completely different. And you learn a lot about that, you know. First, if you talk about one specific topic, you can share what your experience is, but also you have to, you know, I do research also. I kind of check what other people are doing, and you learn a lot of stuff by doing so. And that helps also to get better, to evolve as a producer, mixer. So teaching helps to learn. Funny thing, but it does help a lot. So it's a blend of learning while teaching, while mixing also and producing. Where you fail, you get better, you learn, and you move on. You know, and it's still the case. I'm still learning.
Nice. Yeah, that's basically every time you make a video, you have to relearn that again, right? Yeah.
And I also found that
sometimes it's kind of a reality check, you know.
Yeah.
You get to a point, and sometimes you do some stuff a certain way, and that works very well for you. And by learning on what other people are doing or might do differently, that gives you the chance to experiment. Sometimes you might like that new technique or whatever the perspective that person is making, and some other times it might not work. But at least you get the chance to experiment with it, and the more again you experiment, the more experience you get, and the better you get at it. The better you get better because you know what works and what doesn't for you, and for your workflow also.
I also have the experience that when I try to teach something to somebody, that I learn it a bit better than if I just want to learn it for myself. Yeah. Like,
yeah, exactly.
A friend of mine had a question that I didn't know the answer 100%. So I also had to read some stuff, and then I had to, okay, how can I explain it to him that he understands it? And so
yeah, because you want to make sure the information you provide that person is the right one. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then a lot of times you end up improving your own knowledge and making it more complete.
Yeah,
exactly. That is also, we didn't plan this so well, but this is also a very good segue into my next question. Sure. Basically, you're also talking about experimenting, and a lot of us, like audio people, we are in this because we love music, right? And then there's always this kind of dichotomy, like the separation. There is the creative side and there's the technical side. So in your case, do you think that gaining the experience that you have gained in audio production, in audio engineering, recording, mixing, mastering, everything, would you say that it has primarily benefited your technical skills, or do you think that it has affected your creativity? Like I know you're also a musician, for example. Was your musician side more affected, or was more your technical, let's make the mix just right type side affected?
Both, I would say. Both, because it takes both, for, like in my opinion, to get amazing results. The technical side is important to know. And I learned a lot about the technical side while teaching and stuff, you know. I was leaning a lot on the creative side when I first started because of the lack of knowledge, and you try out things and you experiment a bit more in a way. In my case, I had so much work that I didn't take the time to learn about all the technical stuff. It was just like working and recording and doing the crap, you know. And at the same time, you know, the minute I started to dive way into the technical side, it helped me to be even more creative. And I think the balance of both is important. Like when you're mixing, let's take mixing for example, you know, you can mix a song in a very technical way. It's going to sound good. It might be boring, emotionally speaking. You know, creativity is also, it has to do with emotions also. You know, when you mix, there's a way, there's a time to be technical on some aspects of the mix, but there's also a time to be creative and to be emotional also. Because the goal of a good mix is the experience you give to the listener. You know, so you want the listener to have a very nice experience, an emotional experience. Music is emotional, like music is emotions basically. So you need to translate that in your mix. And I think that's why the blend of the creativity side, which is going to add a lot of emotions, can have to work well with the technical side. So they both work well together, and I think they are both important. And the more technical aspects you learn, I think that's going to give you way more freedom to be creative and to think outside the box. You know the rules, but you know how to work outside the rules also and be creative.
You go.
I go. Yeah, that's a pretty good answer, definitely. Also one thing, I was at a music production workshop once, like, I don't know, almost 10 years ago. And one thing that stuck with me was also the sentence, don't go into something without a plan. Have a plan, and then you can deviate from the plan and do some creative stuff, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The next question is going to be a bit not so creative, let's say it like that. Are you currently planning on changing your hardware setup somehow? Or are you satisfied with what you are having at the moment? Your studio is set up, and yeah.
To be honest, I'm pretty satisfied with what I have. I can work with like a minimum set of equipment, you know. I made a full course on mixing with only stock plugins out of Cubase. But of course, it's, you know, getting gear, getting more tools to work with, helps the workflow, helps the tone, helps to, it just, you know, gives us like tools to craft the music and the work we're doing a bit more efficiently in a way. So not having gear doesn't stop me to work, but having gear, you know, it's kind of a good thing. So will I change anything? I don't think I will. I'm planning on changing anything I already have. I might add up to what I have. You know, that's kind of a, something I'm going to have a hard time to stop. You know? It's fun. You know? It's fun to try new things, to add to the workflow, add new tones, add new possibilities and options. So something I thought of, I'm thinking about it. I don't own a 500 series system, and I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll get into that rabbit hole. I think like when you start this up and you start diving into the 500 series, it has the potential to be a never-ending story.
Yeah.
I feel like it's collecting those Pokemon cards that I had when I was a kid. I just, no matter how many I had, I just wanted more. I just wanted more and more.
I know, it looks so cool though, you know, when you see like the full rack.
It's like a collectible, yeah.
It's awesome, yeah, I like that. But you're right, it's like collecting cards when you were a kid, yeah. I love it.
Chris, this question, we didn't write this question, we didn't prepare you for this question, but I'm curious actually about it. I'm sure you have had this question before. I'm sure you answered it before, but I would like to know why did you choose Cubase and not, why you're so into Cubase and not the other guys? What made you choose Cubase?
Okay, before I started music production, I went to study on music production. I was playing in the band. The singer was the producer back then. We recorded demos and albums in his basement, and that was in the late 90s. And his home studio was set up with Cubase VST at the time. So that was what I knew, you know. So I always saw him working and watch him working in Cubase. And when I decided to move forward and study music production, there was a lot of cracked softwares available back then, you know, which I think they still are these days, you know. But back in the day, I was a student with no money, and Cubase was very easy to access the cracked version. So, like everybody did at the time, I just got myself a Cubase cracked version, and the minute I finished school and I started to work, I just bought myself a license. And that was it, you know. From that point, I just continued working on Cubase, and since my friend was used to work on Cubase, I was able to get some help if I needed to. Back then, YouTube wasn't a thing. It was the beginning of the 2000s, so it was like, for me, it was kind of a no-brainer to go towards Cubase because of the help I was able to get with my friend. And also at the time, Pro Tools was the other option. And it wasn't native at the time. It was linked to a hardware you need to buy with Avid. I don't even know if it was Avid at that time, but with Pro Tools anyways. And it was like for the budget I had, it was just a basic version of Pro Tools that was provided with the hardware, and I didn't like the limitations, so that's another reason why I continued towards Cubase, and I just didn't think about it from that point. I just started to work with it. At some point I did bought a license for Pro Tools 10, and I mixed a few albums on Pro Tools 10, and yeah, it worked well. It does the job pretty well. I love Pro Tools. For mixing, it does the job very well. For recording, I'm not used to it. But I just went back to Cubase, and it's my home.
Okay.
My favorite DAW. The best DAW ever.
The best DAW ever. Nice.
The good thing about Cubase, I have to say, it's good for mixing, it's amazing for recording, and for production in general, for arranging music, MIDI, virtual instrument management and stuff. Everything is like, it's like the perfect DAW if you want to do everything.
Yeah, big time.
So it's a real way, it's a very good balance between all of those aspects of music production.
Yeah. I have a German friend here that says that Cubase is like Logic and Pro Tools had a baby.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's a good way of putting it.
I see that there are a few comments coming in.
Oh yeah, do we have?
Just a quick message to the audience watching. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, and Giovanni will look. Our colleague Giovanni behind the camera will look at it, and then he will tell us, and we can ask Chris the question.
You can't see him, but he looks amazing, Giovanni. Just saying, you guys are missing. Is it my turn? Is it your turn? I don't remember.
I think you.
Okay. Okay. This question, again, back to our products. So you have the Crème and the VTRC. I just wanted to know how much you like them. How do you like them? And would you modify them in any way, if you could?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, I just started to work with the VTRC, so I do like it. Okay, so like for now, I'm still experimenting with it. I just filmed my video for YouTube, so check it out. It's probably going to come out next week if everything goes well.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Full video on the VTRC, the way I use it, and testing it out on a recording also. For the Crème, as it is, it's a very, very good unit. For the price, I think you get a lot, with the Voltic Type EQ integrated. That makes that stereo bus compressor like a kind of a no-brainer in a way, if you're looking for this type of SSL type compressor. The only thing is, like, you're asking me if I would modify this if I had the choice to. If I talk about the Crème, I would actually maybe add a third filter, maybe the cut filter like we have on the VTR, which is kind of cool. And maybe the dual mono capability also.
Yeah.
This is something I would add up to the Crème to make it even better as it is right now.
Dual mono and one more filter. Okay. I'll let the developers know. And
so that would probably make that unit a bit more thicker.
But creamier. Make more crème.
There you go.
I think that cuts in the same corner. If you could have let's start again. If you could have our team of experts design your dream outboard gear, your dream unit, do you have an idea what it would be? Something that's not existing, for example, or some. It doesn't have to be realistic, because we had some other interviews where the idea was great. I talked to our developers and they were like, "Yeah, that's impossible."
Yeah.
Okay. Probably something to do with saturation. I kind of like, on the VTRC, I really like that flexibility of the preamp by getting a clean signal, but also to be able to create those very nice harmonics by adding the gain knob, and I kind of like that. And having maybe kind of a multi-band saturation hardware like analog saturation would be cool. Something that can give you access to different types of saturation. And again, put it dual mono, so you can use it on 2 different channels while mixing, and same for recording on 2 mono channels. And also, in stereo, since you can also use it on a stereo bus, on a drum bus, and stuff like that. You make it very flexible and multi-band, so you can tweak that up, adding saturation on higher frequencies or the mid-range only, and those bands can be fixed bands, I don't think that matters much, but that would be kind of a unit I would see Tegeler be able to do maybe.
Tegeler?
I would use it.
We just have to think of a really long, unpronounceable name.
Not too long ago, like in a very efficient way, and man, it's amazing what you can do with only light saturation as far as tone shaping the sound goes. You can EQ a sound with saturation by just adding harmonics, It's once you understand that concept, it's very cool what you can do with saturation on a technical way and then also on a creative way. And so that would be my dream unit in a way.
That might have been the most realistic, idea we've had in an interview series.
If you want to go a step further, keep the same unit. Let's go a step further. There's a plugin in Cubase that is called Quadrophonics, which is a multi-band saturation plugin. And the cool thing on this plugin is you can also add a delay on each band.
Multi-band delay after the saturation.
It's part of the saturation band. And that is also pretty cool. But it's
multi-band delay plus saturator.
It's something to get your engineers crazy.
I'm sure they're gonna love. They're gonna love that. Now we just have to think of a really long name in German that most people cannot pronounce, like Schwerkraftmaschine, Raumzeitmaschine. I don't know.
I think Giovanni has a question. I will go really quickly and check it out.
He's gonna grab Giovanni.
It's not a question. It's not a question actually.
Just a second.
It's a multi-effect based on the reverb one before, or a multi-effect small unit.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you the next question, which is actually the last question we have written. So, last but not least, what are you working on at the moment? Any projects that will be released in the near future?
Yeah. At the moment, I'm working on a new course. It's a recording course for home studios and also for Cubase users. So it's like a full in-depth course for the home studio. Focused on recording techniques, how to get your tracks well recorded, so they mix themselves better. So that's the goal. And it's all mixing. We think as mixing as like that big thing, that will transform your music, but I think if you get it right at the source, which is pretty, common to say, but it's true, when you get that part of it, like a good arrangement, good recording, those songs are going to mix themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the goal, and by sharing those concepts, those recording concepts, I think it's important for a home studio to know how to be able to record high quality music with the gear they already have, even if it's a minimum such a gear, like even if that home studio person has only 2 microphones. There's a lot you can do with mic positioning, and different recording technique, and this is the type of thing I cover in that course. So that is what I'm trying to finish, so I can release that ASAP, probably end of August, if everything goes well. And that will be combined with the release of my new single also in the fall, that I'm actually producing as I work on the course. So it's the song that I'm using on the recording course. So I kind of hit 2 birds with 1 stone.
Nice. Yeah, I think this cannot be said enough. Like it's a common theme in our interviews. Every time we ask people like, what's your biggest advice for people who don't know how to mix? Record well. Have a good recording. You can't. Because now and more we have the famous let's fix it in post-production mentality, and that just doesn't get the job done as well as if you have a good recording. So guys,
you're gonna work way harder if you do so.
Yeah.
Everything is possible, but it's more work for nothing.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's what I'm working on lately, and so it's a lot of work though, but it's fun.
Nice.
There were no really questions, but there were a few thank yous to you, Chris, for your work at YouTube and about helping. Some guy wrote you helped him with your videos really much.
You see, not just me, not only me.
I like that.
And also another idea about while we were talking about the ideal unit, let's say it like this, or the wish unit. I don't know. My English is today. I think the heat is getting to my brain.
Your dream device.
Yeah, your dream device. Thank you. It would be a multi-effect unit based on the Raumzeitmaschine. What's also an interesting idea, or a small saturation box was also in the comments. A desktop unit.
We won't touch it.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound so bad.
Cool.
So, do you know about? Have you ever tried the Raumzeitmaschine, Chris?
No, I didn't.
Okay. The Raumzeitmaschine it's a beautiful reverb. Yeah. Okay.
And you know what? Because
Chris,
I saw it.
From my side,
I
I can't thank you enough. It's always a pleasure to have our interviews, but I was really looking forward to this one because I always enjoy watching your video, and this time I'm in the video with Chris. You see, it's an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thanks for the invite. It was fun to chat with you guys. I love what you guys are doing. Love your products. I remember the first time I saw Tegeler was at the AES in New York. I think that was back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So, I was impressed right away. So I was very happy to get the Crème years ago and try it out and making it part of my mixing workflow. And it's not, I'm not ready to change it. So,
nice.
I'm looking forward to work more and more with the VTRC, and who knows, maybe something else afterwards,
Last question, there is a guy that asked him when the VTRC video from Chris will be released.
Next week.
He said next week.
Okay.
Your VTRC video, because there was a question in the chat, you said next week?
I'm going to post it next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And also one question that I always like to ask at the end is, do you have any questions for us?
That's a good question.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
The question of the question.
Okay, so are you guys working on a new rack mount unit?
Rack, like 19-inch? Not right now.
It's in development, let's say it like that.
Yeah.
But it will,
You're working a lot on 500 series units, right?
Yes.
Yes. Right now we're really looking forward to the Myth EQ, our 500 series EQ. We have tried it already. The samples are still to be released, but it's killer. Seriously, it actually sounds really nice. When I was testing it, I was afraid I was like, let's see how this is going to sound. I was not really putting a lot of trust into it, but it really blew my mind. It's amazing. 19-inch, I think we cannot really officially tell you, but we have something really cool in the future happening. Yeah.
And are you still developing some other like new 500 series units for the future?
Yes. Right now we have the compressor, the vocal leveler. We're going to soon have a EQ 500 series and
then a
more
few
stuff.
others.
Yeah.
Man, you won't give me any choice. I'm gonna have to get my hands on the 500.
There will be a lot of new things coming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I'm happy you guys are part of the music production community and that you offer great products. And I like the fact that you're also very aggressive on social and doing this type of thing, you know, podcasting and live events like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So that's great, and thanks again for inviting me. So
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it comes with the team. The whole team is quite young here, so everybody.
Except for Julian. No. I'm joking, Julian. I'm joking. He's only 3 years older than me.
I was about to ask how old are you, but I'm not.
33 still.
I'll be 30 in a couple of days, and I am freaking out already.
You're kids.
Yeah.
My daughter got married last weekend.
Ah, congratulations, man! Nice.
Okay, so
nice.
thank you. So that so I'm not 33.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, when you were saying like in the 90s you had a band, I was like, were you a kid in this band or something? Yeah. When you said that you were in a band during the 90s, I was about to ask, but how old were you in this band? And were you like?
I was young back then. I was part of that band at age 16 when I started playing drums with them. So
nice.
I got married in '99, so I was 22 at the time.
Nice.
So do the math, and you'll know how old I am right now, which is still young, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Chris, again, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Let's keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we will be looking forward to seeing your review, not only the VTRC review, but all the reviews you post. We're gonna keep checking Mixdown online. Thank you so much. It was an honor. Just for everyone listening, please, next interview we're gonna have is also going to be about the Crème. Today we have spoken to Chris about using the Crème in a studio. The next time we're gonna talk to Stefano Lentini, talking about the Crème in a composing scenario. And later on we're gonna have another guy that still hasn't been announced, but he's going to be talking about the Crème in a live music scenario. Chris, thank you so very much. It was a pleasure, and hope to see you again. Let's keep in touch.
For sure. Thanks again, guys.
Ciao, Chris. Have a good one.
Ciao, Chris.
That's Giovanni.
Ciao, Chris.
Ciao, guys.